My best friend of 18 years blocked me and cut me off completely after I didn't invite her toddler on our annual girls' trip, even though we'd been trying to include her in everything for over a year and just wanted one child-free getaway together. Every December, since we were 18, my girls and I have done a little tradition, a girls' trip. Nothing fancy, just a few nights somewhere fun, carefree, and warm, if we could afford it. There are 6 of us, all close-knit since school, and this annual tradition has been the glue that holds us together despite school, jobs, relationships, and everything else growing up is thrown at us. Last year was the only time we didn't go. COVID. It was understandable, disappointing, but necessary. We promised ourselves we'd double the fun the next time around. We even made a group chat countdown in January this year. We were ready to go big again, and we were finally all going to be free from exams and placements. It was something I personally clung to for motivation. But things are different now. One of us, my best friend since we were 13, became a mother. She gave birth to her baby boy 14 months ago, and everything changed. I mean, I knew it would. We all knew it would. A baby changes things. Priorities shift. Time becomes scarce. Spontaneity dies a little. But still, we tried. We tried so hard to keep her included. Since her son was born, I can't remember one time we've had her to ourselves. Not a single time. Every plan, every outing, every catch-up suddenly became, can I bring the baby? Or can we do something baby-friendly? Which usually meant one thing, coffee shops. I genuinely didn't mind at first. Of course I didn't. She's my best friend. A baby is a full-time job, and I figured she just didn't have any help at home. We would adjust. It's what friends do. So we sat in countless cafes, had cold, half-drunk lattes while she rocked the pram or breastfed or ran after him when he threw his snacks. And honestly, it was fine. We love her, and we love her son too. It was just a different vibe. But eventually, it started to feel a little one-sided. It wasn't just that she had to bring the baby. She refused to leave him even when she could. And that part, I think, is what's hard to understand for those of us who aren't mothers yet. She lives with her husband, who works from home. Her in-laws live with them too. So when I asked if she wanted to go out dancing with us one Friday night, and she asked again if we could do a coffee shop instead, I was kind of exhausted. It felt like déjà vu. I gently asked if her husband or in-laws couldn't watch the baby for just a couple of hours. It's not like we were asking for a weekend trip, just one night. Just a bit of music, dancing, being 22 again. Her response caught me off guard. She said she would feel insane mom guilt if she went to a club without her baby. And look, I know mom guilt is real. I'm not dismissing it. But I was frustrated. I told her I understood and that we could absolutely do coffee the next day if she wanted. But I needed a night out. For once, I needed to not be in a cafe holding back my stories or feeling like a third wheel to a baby. The next morning, she texted me something that stung. Why do you have such a big problem with me having my child around? I was baffled. I stared at the screen for a while. Because the truth is, I don't. I never have. I've shifted, accommodated, rescheduled, and rerouted every plan for over a year. All I asked for was one night. One single night where she could meet us halfway. I explained exactly that. That it wasn't about not wanting her child around. It was about wanting just a moment where we could be girls again. Loud, silly, unfiltered. I said I felt like she didn't even try to understand where I was coming from, and that it hurt to be accused like that when I've spent so long being understanding. She was quiet after that. Not silent, but distant. She didn't fight me on it, but I could feel a shift. Maybe she was embarrassed, or maybe she really didn't get where I was coming from. I don't know. What I do know is I've missed her. I've missed our friendship. The carefree giggles at midnight, the inside jokes, the deep 3 a.m. conversations. The girl I used to talk about everything with now, I feel like we talk about feeding schedules and nap routines and nothing else. And I feel so guilty for even thinking that. She's a great mom. And she loves her son. I admire how committed she is. But I can't pretend I don't feel like I've lost her. Or that I'm not grieving what our friendship used to be. This trip in December, I don't know what it'll look like yet. Whether she'll come, whether she'll try to come with the baby, or just not come at all. I don't know if the rest of us can keep pretending nothing's changed. Because something has. And we're all too polite to say it out loud. The girls' trip is in a week. It's something that's been marked on all our calendars since January, a tiny light at the end of the tunnel after a year that chewed us up and spit us back out. We've all been grinding, school, internships, jobs, life. And this December trip is our one chance to pause, breathe, and remember who we are when we're not buried in deadlines or emotionally drained. So, yeah, we've been looking forward to this for months. But I'll admit, I didn't really bring it up to my best friend this time. It wasn't out of malice. It wasn't because I didn't want her there. It's just after everything this year, after all the times plans had to be changed or watered down into another cafe catch-up, I just assumed she wouldn't be able to come alone. And I didn't want to put her in the awkward position of having to say no again. Honestly, it hurt even thinking about it. She's my best friend. We've been close since we were kids. But ever since her son was born 14 months ago, it feels like our dynamic has been slowly, steadily slipping away. I thought I was prepared for the change. I really did. I knew motherhood would mean less time, different priorities, more responsibilities. But what I didn't realize was how it would feel to constantly accommodate her new world without her ever trying to meet me halfway in mine. She's always asked to bring her son to everything. And every time we said yes. We shifted venues, we planned around naps and feedings, we kept it chill. It was fine at first, lovely even. But after a year, I started to feel like we were losing more than we were keeping. Coffee shop after coffee shop, plans cut short, stories left unfinished because the baby needed attention. I didn't blame her for being a mom, I just missed having her as a friend. So this year, when we booked the trip, I didn't rush to tell her. The resort we picked has a club, a pool bar, late-night events. All stuff that isn't kid-friendly. We were craving that carefree chaos, the kind where you can dance like an idiot and wake up with your voice gone from laughing too hard. For the first time in forever, we just wanted to let go. All of us, together. She eventually heard about the trip through another friend in the group. She called me up, sounding cheerful, and jokingly asked why I hadn't invited her. I felt so awkward. I kind of laughed and stumbled over my words, eventually telling her she was always welcome, of course. And I meant that. I would love for her to come. I thought maybe, just maybe, this was her way of saying she'd found a sitter, that she was ready to do something for herself. But the next day, she called back. She asked if the resort we were going to was child-friendly. I paused, took a breath, and told her the truth. It wasn't. We'd chosen it because it had more of a party atmosphere, and we were all looking forward to that vibe. She went quiet, then said she wouldn't be able to come if her son couldn't be accommodated in the activities we planned. I told her I understood, and I genuinely did. I said I was sorry. I thought that was the end of it. Until last night, when her older sister called me out of nowhere. I hadn't spoken to her in ages, and the second I picked up the phone, I regretted it. She unleashed on me, accused me of being cruel, said I was punishing my best friend for becoming a mother, said I was acting childish and selfish for not wanting my friend's son on our trip. Her words cut deeper than I expected. I barely even got a word in before she hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone, heart pounding. I couldn't believe it. This wasn't fair. None of this was fair. We've all had a hard year. We've all bent over backwards to be there for our friend and her baby. And I don't regret a second of that. But is it so wrong to want one trip, just one, where we don't have to censor our fun, where we don't have to worry about nap times or finding places with high chairs? I'm still in shock. I don't know how to type what I'm feeling without sounding cold or selfish. I'm not trying to exclude her. I'm trying to reclaim a part of myself too. The part that dances until her legs ache, that has deep 3 a.m. conversations with friends over wine, that laughs so hard she can't breathe. The part one only get to see when I'm with my girls, all of us, together. And we haven't had that in so long. Not since before the baby. Not since COVID. Not since undergrad ended, and everything got heavy. I'm grieving something, I think. Not just my friendship with her, but the version of us that used to exist. The spontaneous, silly, ride-or-die friendship we had before life pulled us in different directions. I still love her. I always will. But I'm realizing that love doesn't mean always saying yes. It doesn't mean sacrificing your needs every time someone else has theirs. We need this trip, all 6 of us, to reconnect, recharge, and remember who we were before adulthood wore us down. And maybe my best friend needs something different right now. Maybe she needs friends who are willing to do coffee shops and kid-friendly brunches every time. That's okay too. But that doesn't make me the villain for wanting something else. For craving something she can't be part of right now. It's painful, messy, confusing. But I know this much. I'm still going on that trip. I'm going to laugh until my stomach hurts, dance until I can't feel my feet, and toast to the memories we've been too tired to make for too long. And when I get back, I hope we can talk. Really talk. Maybe not as the same friends we used to be, but as two women trying to figure out how to hold on to each other through all the change. Because I miss her. But I miss me, too. And I won't keep losing myself just to prove that I care. It's been almost a month since we got back from our girls' trip, and it still feels a bit surreal, like I'm standing in the quiet aftermath of something that ended louder than I expected. We had the best time on that trip. It was exactly what we needed. The laughter, the late-night talks, the dancing, the beach walks, all of it. It was the kind of carefree joy we hadn't felt in years, since before COVID, before the stress of our master's programs, before adulthood had truly sunk its claws in. For a few days, we got to feel 20 again. Unburdened. Whole. And for the first time in ages, I felt like I was with my people again. Present, connected, understood. We didn't talk about the situation with my best friend during the trip. We'd all silently agreed to shelf it until we got home. It was too fresh, too heavy, and none of us wanted to cloud the rare time we had together with drama. But still, she lingered in the back of my mind. I missed her. I kept imagining her there with us, laughing on the balcony, picking out outfits, taking photos in the mirror, singing terribly loud in Ubers. It stung every time. So, the day after I got home, I texted her. I kept it simple, gentle. I told her I missed her, that we'd gotten some gifts for her and her son during the trip, and asked if we could come over to give them to her. I figured we could talk, ease into things, start mending the tension without throwing it all on the table at once.
Just show her that we still cared.
That I still cared. She read the message.
Didn't reply.
For 3 days, nothing. Not a word. I try not to panic, but the silence grew heavier with each hour. Eventually, I called her husband. We've never been especially close, but I just needed to know she was okay. He answered, sounding a little unsure, and told me she was fine, as far as he knew. Said he wasn't sure why she wasn't answering me. I didn't want to push. I didn't want to double text and risk seeming clingy or desperate or, worse, invasive. So I left it alone. Then, on the 3rd day, she finally replied. It was an essay, long, emotional, and honestly, a gut punch I didn't see coming. She said she was disappointed in me, that it hurt her deeply to feel like I was asking her to give up days of motherhood just to drink and be a skank. That sentence knocked the wind out of me. I had to reread it a few times just to process that those words came from her, my best friend, the one who used to sneak makeup into school with me, who held my hand through every heartbreak, who once cried in my lap when her dog died in year 9. She accused me and all of us of being selfish, childish, inconsiderate, of abandoning her because she chose a different path, because she couldn't keep up with our party lifestyle. She ended the message by saying that she and her husband were trying for another baby and that she didn't have the mental capacity to deal with our crap. Then she left all our group chats and blocked every single one of us.
Just like that.
I stared at my screen for so long that my phone locked itself twice. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just felt hollow. Like someone had quietly reached into my chest and scooped out a part of me I didn't even realize I still clung to. We'd been best friends since year 4. Almost 2 decades. We grew up together. I could still recite her first mobile number from memory. We'd had silly fights before, about boys, about being late, about missed calls, but never anything like this. Never anything so final. It's baffling. The kind of thing that doesn't make sense no matter how many angles you try to look at it from. Because I never stopped loving her. I didn't exclude her out of malice. I just wanted one trip, where I didn't have to be the accommodating one. One trip to reconnect with the friends I'd drifted from during these exhausting years. One trip to feel like me again. I thought she'd understand. I really, truly thought that after some time, she'd see my heart. That she'd know I wasn't trying to hurt her, or her son, or her new identity as a mother. I just wanted to share space with the version of her that used to laugh until she cried, that danced barefoot in the kitchen, that made dumb TikToks with me until 2 a.m. Maybe that version's gone. Or maybe she's buried too deep now beneath nappies and baby monitors and sleepless nights and identity shifts. I don't know. And maybe it's not my place to know anymore. What I do know is this. Friendships shouldn't be all take. They shouldn't require you to shrink, to silence your joy, to walk on eggshells just to stay connected. Yes, they evolve. Yes, motherhood changes everything. But I think I held out hope that our bond could stretch and bend and grow with it all, not snap and splinter like this. Her silence was one thing, but that message? That message was a goodbye disguised as a burn. And I guess that's that. She's gone now. From the chats, from the group, from my life. And while the practical part of me says I should accept it and move on, there's another part of me. The part that sat next to her at sleepovers, the part that planned future weddings with her at age 12. That aches for what we lost. But maybe she was already gone, long before this trip. Maybe this was just the moment I finally let myself see it. I'm still grieving, still replaying conversations, and wondering where the turning point was. Still missing her son's tiny smile, the way she used to text me about the most random things, the comfort of a friend who knew my whole history. But I'm also learning that it's okay to let go when holding on starts to hurt more than heal. And maybe one day, I'll look back on this and see the good. See the lesson. Maybe I'll remember the trip as the moment I chose to stop begging for space in someone else's life and started reclaiming my own. For now, I'm still sitting in the quiet, still processing the absence, still missing someone who doesn't miss me back.